it's Hunter and welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing my February book wrap up. It's been a minute since I filmed one of these. I've been filming today, so I thought now would be the perfect opportunity. It's March 1st that I'm filming this, so let's just talk about some books. Before we get started, I would love it if you guys would subscribe to my channel down below and give this video a thumbs up, and let's just go ahead and get started. So the first book that I read in February is actually a short story, and it's an Amazon original story by Frederick Backman. It is The Answer Is No, and it is about a man who is perfectly happy living completely alone, basically completely isolated from everyone. However, he lives in an apartment complex. So one day a frying pan shows up in the yard of the apartment complex. It's against the rules, and someone comes to his apartment and asks him if he knows anything about it. And this kind of becomes a series of them trying to figure out what happened. It ends up being this whole thing, and it's quite funny, but it basically just teaches this main character that life is better lived with people, even if it is not always the most convenient. So I thought it was really cute, and it was really quick read. So the next book I read was The Lake of Lost Girls by Catherine Green, and this one is alternating timelines. It is about some girls who went missing at a university in 1998, and it tells the story of one of the girls who went missing. It kind of tells the story of all of them, but it's from the perspective of the girl, like the one girl. I think it's 4 girls that go missing, but it's told from the perspective of one of the girls that goes missing, kind of telling the story of the timeline of events of each girl that goes missing, but from her perspective. And then the other timeline is of the sister of the girl who is talking about the other timeline, as she tries to figure out what happened to her sister, because all of these bodies have been found in this lake, and she wants to figure out what happened, and she does, and I gave it 5 stars. I thought it was really, really good. The next book I read, I wish I could unread it. It is The Crash by Frida McFadden, and I feel like I really enjoyed her books for a while. In fact, I read through a lot of them very quickly, and it is a very quick read. However, I just feel like the writing is so poorly done. It is about a girl who she is single and pregnant, and she is trying to make a life for herself, or have a better life for herself, but she decides that her morals are more important to her than money. So she gets in the car, drives to her brother's house, gets in a car accident on the way there. And when that happens, she is terrified. She's, of course, like I said, pregnant. It's the middle of a snowstorm. She cannot walk. She's like in the middle of nowhere. She's broken her ankle or something. And this man comes to rescue her, takes him to her house because there's no way that he's going to be able to get her to the hospital that night. And then she starts to feel very weird about being there. And she's like, why can't you just take me to the hospital if you can take me to your house? And she just starts to feel really weird about the whole situation. They put her in the basement. They take care of her. And as time goes on, she's just becoming more and more weary. Then we get another part of the book, and it's from the perspective of the wife of the man who picked her up off the side of the road. And I thought it was interesting. I thought the whole story, like the concept, was decent, but I just feel like it was a little bit predictable, and the writing is just not very good. Like, I hate to say that, but I just don't. So anyway, that's all I have to say about that. Next is The Dead Girl in 2A by Carter Wilson. And I got this book at a used bookstore a while ago. I am working through my physical TBR right now while also reading on my Kindle. So this was one that was a physical TBR. It is about a man who is sitting next to a woman. He's in seat 1A on a plane, and she's in seat 2A. And she reveals to him that she is going to this place to end her own life because she has been losing her memories. And then he realizes he's been also losing his memories, and he's really confused. So now he has to figure out how he's connected to this girl because he feels like he is somehow. I thought it was really good, and the twist at the end was actually pretty good. I did give it 4 stars though, because there were some parts of it that were just slightly confusing to me. The next book on this list is Someone Knows by Lisa Scottolini, and I did not know that's how you pronounced her last name until I was listening to the audiobook, and it said, you have just read Someone Knows by Lisa Scottolini, and I was like, I did not know that's how you pronounce her last name, but okay. This book haunted me, okay? I had a horrible night's sleep after I finished reading a part of this book. It is about this girl. It starts with her in the beginning attending a funeral, and then it goes to the past. It talks about this girl who comes from a broken family, another girl who comes from a broken family but's a very popular girl, this very popular boy who's obsessed with the popular girl, and this other guy. So there's like these 4 friends, and it goes through the story of a summer that they spend together. They find a gun hidden in the woods, buried in the woods, during track practice one day, or cross country, or whatever it is. Something goes horribly wrong. It was a lot. It was a lot. I was very haunted by what happens when you figure out what happens. And yeah, that's all I have. It was a really tough read emotionally, I think. It really shook me for some reason. You kind of find out something, I don't know, it's hard to explain. There's just a lot that happens, and I feel like it was a really good book, but it was just really hard to read. So, on a lighter note, the next book is Lisa in Love by Fallon Ballard. I bought this book a long time ago. It came out February 1st, 2022, and I'm pretty sure I bought it in 2022 because the cover is so cute. I mean, look at it. Honestly, I was not expecting to like it as much as I did. I thought I'd like it. It looks like a cute little rom-com with the cover, but it was literally so good. It's about this girl, I can literally never remember anybody's name, Sadie. Sadie, at the beginning of this book, Sadie loses her job, and she has to move out of her apartment because she cannot afford to stay where she is without a job. So she looks for a roommate, and she finds one in Jack, and he's giving her an incredible deal. The space is amazing and so many things. And of course, we love a forced proximity, friends to lovers situation, and that's exactly what happens here. It was just overall so cute. Oh my goodness, I was smiling ear to ear the whole time I was reading it. It was literally just the cutest book. I was obsessed with it. It was so good. They're polar opposites. She makes a new life for herself. She creates a family with her friends, and Jack also opens up. He becomes a whole new person, and overall, it's just a really sweet book. I just skipped a book. Let me go back before I go to the next one. For some reason, I missed this one whenever I was scrolling through Goodreads. It is The Fall Risk by Abby Jimenez, and anything that woman writes is gonna get 5 stars for me. And it is about 2 neighbors. It's Valentine's Day. They both walk out of their apartment and their stairs are missing. They're just gone. And because the stairs are gone, they can't leave. Their landlord offers to get them a hotel so that they can stay somewhere, but they both would prefer to stay in their own apartments and just not leave their apartment for the weekend. And they start to spend some time together because they're obviously trapped and they can't leave. So yeah, oh my gosh, it was so cute. You would never know this was a short story, but it was very cute and I want more, to be honest with you. But I gave it 5 stars. I love Abby Jimenez. She's the best. Okay, the next book I actually received from the publisher when it came out in August. So I got it from Grand Central Publishing, and it is The House Hunt by C.M. Ewan. And I really enjoyed this. I did give it 4 stars because there was one thing I think that was confusing to me. But this woman has a very interesting past, and she's scared of strangers, but her house is for sale, and her real estate agent calls and says, I can't make it, can you let this guy in and show him around? Well, we all know what happens when we let strangers in our house, okay? Whatever. But then she learned something about her past that she didn't know. It was shocking. That's all I got. Next is The Broken Places by Mia Sheridan, and I did not realize this came out December 4th of 2024, so it's fairly new. I have really been enjoying Mia Sheridan books because they are stories that have love in them, but they're also quite thrilling. It is about this, it's about a police detective called an inspector named Lennon and an FBI agent named, what is his name? Ambrose. And they come up on a series of crimes of people who are being murdered, and it seems that the murder weapon is still there, but everyone present is dead and no one else's fingerprints are on the murder weapons. And so this keeps happening to people who are living on the streets, people who are drug addicts, and prostitutes and things like that. And they're obviously trying to figure out who did the killing. And in the process, Lennon finds out some things about her new partner, and yeah, I thought it was really good. A+ for Mia Sheridan. Love her books. Oh my gosh, okay, this next one was also sent to me by the publisher I don't know who the publisher is. Anyway, this book came out in 2023. It's called The Child Who Lived by Ellie Midwood, and this book, it was a little bit slow at first, but after the slowness picked up, it picked up for me a lot. It is about this woman who was working with a Nazi agency, and she was basically helping Jews in some way that I don't quite understand, but she was helping them, and higher ups found out. She got sentenced to a work camp, and she went through tons of brutal conditions. I've read lots of Holocaust books, or like World War II books that are related to the Holocaust, and they have all been Jews in concentration camps, so it's a little bit different that this character is Austrian, but she's not Jewish, and she is going to a camp for prison and a sentence for that reason rather than just being Jewish. And so she goes to this camp, and then suddenly she gets sent to another camp, and she's a very smart woman. She's very good at standing up for herself and taking care of herself. The beginning of the book is about this woman. Her name is Lore, and Lore and her husband are in court. Her husband is trying to divorce her because she was unfaithful to him. She had a baby while she was in the prison camp, and she is trying to find the man and the baby because they both escaped from a camp before it was liberated, and he wants to divorce her for that reason, which, okay, fair, but he is a horrible dude, by the way. But it kind of just tells the story of her through the work camp and her getting to the point where she meets this guy and how she ends up getting pregnant, giving birth, and all of the things. It's a very, very amazing story. I heard it's based on a true story, so I need to do some research on that, but I thought it was excellent. I can't believe that historical fiction books end up always being my favorite, especially when I say I don't really like historical fiction that much, but all of my favorite books end up being historical fiction. So anyway, it made me feel very, very deeply. So anyway, there's that. And then the last thing that I finished, I actually finished it just after midnight last night, so I guess technically it was March 1st when I finished it, but I also read most of it in February, so I'm including it, and it's also a short story, more like the novella. It doesn't say how many pages it is, but I guess because it's a Kindle one. I don't know, but it came out on January 7th, so it's fairly new. It is My Sister's Daughter by Liv Constantine, and it's about a woman. Her sister dies, so her sister's daughter, her niece, comes to live with her, and she starts noticing weird things are happening around the house. Her son is getting hurt, her daughter's things are being destroyed, but her niece seems like the sweetest girl ever, so she's really confused. So they're going to family therapy and all this stuff, and then she finally figures out what's happening, and I don't know why, but I wasn't expecting it. I feel like it probably could have been predicted, but I just like wasn't expecting it at all. So overall, I thought it was really good, and it was very quick and short, but I also felt like a whole story was able to be developed in the short number of chapters that there were. So I really love when a short story does not leave me wanting more. I feel like there was like a full plot was given, and it was concluded very nicely, but I don't feel like it was rushed, which again, I feel like short stories tend to rush toward the end, which I know it's because they're short stories, but this one just felt like a full-length novel in a very short amount of pages, and I appreciated that. So anyway, that was the last book that I read in February, and I'm excited for my March reads. All the spring new releases are going to come out soon, and I'm super excited about it, so I can't wait to start reading those. But anyway, it is a gorgeous day outside, so I'm about to put my blanket away and go outside. But I will see you guys in my next video. If you guys enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe to my channel down below and give this video a thumbs up. Bye!